Hello and welcome to this new video in the Learn C# series. My name is Colton and today we're going to be talking about implicitly typed variables and target type expressions. Now if you're new here, I have an upcoming internship that requires I know C#, and so I find the best way of learning is actually through teaching. So every new concept that I'm learning, I'm creating a YouTube video for you so that we can follow along together and hopefully get something out of it. In this series, we're using C# 12 in a nutshell over on O'Reilly Media and using LinkPad 8 to write all of our code. Like I said earlier, we're going to be learning about implicitly typed variables, so using the var keyword, and then also dabbling inside of the target typed expressions. Without further ado, let's get into the first part of the video. With the use of implicitly typed variables, we no longer need to explicitly type our variables. All we have to do is on the right hand of the assignment is kind of specify what type it is. So again, let's look at if we wanted to make a string builder object. So string builder SB is equal to a new string builder, which is being used from the system.text like namespace. And so this is all it takes to make a string builder. And this is also kind of verbose. This is very similar to Java. You know, like when we're making a new object, we always say like the type of it and then give the variable name and then say like new whatever that class name is. Again, it's very long, it's verbose, it can kind of get annoying. And so we can just take out this string builder on the left hand side entirely and just replace it with a var. And so we can still treat SB just as normal. So we can do it in sb.append and we can just say append Colton to it. And then let's go ahead and print this out just to make sure that everything is working correctly. So we just print out SB, let's run it, and we get a string builder object that was returned to us that is containing Colton. Not only does the print statement tell us what kind of type this SB is, we can also just explicitly get the type that it is. So we can do a dot operator and do get type, which is a method which returns to us a string or some sort of type, and then we can call name, which then presents to us a string. So if we run this, we get string builder. That is what the SB's type is. Now this doesn't have to work explicitly for objects or anything like that. We can also do var SB, or let's actually just call it num instead, and we can just assign it 5. And so if we do another console.writeLine, let's make sure that 5 is getting printed out to the screen correctly, and there we go, we get 5. And then if we do a get type on this and then its name, let's make sure that this is also working, and we see that every int that we're passing in here is just an int 32. So C#'s compiler will know what type it should be. Let's say that we have this number here and we don't want it to be just an integer 5. Well, then we need to append d after it to specify, okay, this is a decimal. So let's run this one more time, and we see that this implicit type gets changed to a double. One thing that we can't do though is change the types. Once we've already assigned a type to a variable, it can no longer change. So here, if we just say var num is equal to 5, we can no longer say num is equal to 5.0. We're gonna get a compiler issue as saying we can't like convert these types, so from an integer to a double. So keep that in mind if you're using var. Another drawback that we have using the var keyword is that it makes our programs a little bit more difficult to read. If all you're just seeing is var num equal 5 or var text is equal to something, well then later down in the line of the program, we might be asking ourselves, okay, what kind of type is this variable? I don't know what it is. So it's always best to explicitly type what variables you're making. On the flip side of implicitly typed variables, we have target typed expressions. So a great example of this is, again, we have this verbose line saying string builder SB is equal to a new string builder. So we have the type, variable name, then the new keyword, and then the constructor. This is very verbose. But with target type expressions, we can take a little bit of this out. Vice versa to the implicitly typed variables, we can remove something from the right hand side here. So instead of having string builder put right here, we can just do new and then have the constructor call right here. I believe string builder also has another constructor where we can go ahead and pass in a string, and so I can just type in something, and then that also constitutes as a valid constructor call. So when we're doing target type expressions, we're just going to call a string builder constructor over here on the right side. And so just to make sure that we're still getting a string builder here, we're going to print and we get a string builder. Now this doesn't have to be for types that are already declared over in C#. This works with our own classes too. So let's go ahead and make make a new cat. So we can say cat C is equal to new cat. Let's just go ahead and do this the normal way, and it's gonna be named Mochi. And so we'll go ahead and just print out C's type to make sure that we're getting some sort of cat, and that's exactly what we're getting. But again, with target type expressions, we can go ahead and remove this slight verbosity here and just pass on. We're doing a call to the one constructor that takes in a string, and so we're still going to get the same cat that we're getting. And let's also make sure that the name is also getting printed there too. So we'll just print out c.name and it should be Mochi, and there we go. Okay, that does it for this video. I certainly learned something today, especially when it came to the target type expressions. The Java world kind of only has the var or the implicit type, but I don't believe it has the target type expression. So I definitely learned something today. If you learned something today, then please don't forget to like or subscribe, because you'll see more content like this. I know that this was a little bit of a shorter video, but future videos will be back up to the normal length. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.